Welcome to the knowledge series. Here under the course EC407 Computer Communication, we are going to discuss in the area on firewall. So what's the firewall? It means firewall is a network security systems that monitors and controls the incoming and outgoing network traffic on the basis on certain predefined security rules. So to understand the firewall, this is the best figure. So firewall typically establishes a barrier between a trusted internal network users and as well as the untrusted external network such as internet. So you can see this one. This is the internet world. Here is a trusted users like a computer system terminals is there, mobile is there, secure private LAN networking is there, modem is there, and this is a firewalls, and this is a dustbin. That means a packet coming from this one, if it is the secure packet, then it is allowed to move, otherwise it is been thrown to the dustbin, that is restricted from not allowed to process further. So firewall ignores the data coming from a suspicious locations. So that is the thing is that you have to note that if it is coming from a suspicious location or unsecured location, the firewall plays a very important roles in protecting a barrier against from such type of attack that is coming from the outside world. So a firewall is a kind of a cyber security tools that used to control the network traffic, and it tries to isolate the network nodes and internal source, even a special program from getting observed by the external traffic source. Or you can say it tries to keep the network from getting into a passive attack. So firewall, it's basically act like a guard. It guards the corporate network and maintain a shield between the inside network from the outside world. And all the traffic is moving in either directions. It can move in either direction through a firewall, and it tries to it decides whether the traffic is to be allowed to flow or not. So that is how the firewall try to work, and firewall can be implemented in the both hardware and in the software form. So that is how we can implement the firewalls. So there are two categories of a firewall. You can see a hardware firewall and a software firewall. A hardware firewall, it plays between the local network of your computer and the internet, and the hardware firewall aspects inspects the data. So you are connecting all the cable terminal point across this one, and there will be several LEDs will be there that will be blinking once the packet is being moving through this cable through the LAN cable to the terminal end. So that's how it will try to inspect the data and or the informations coming from the internet and passing through the firewalls, and it blocks the unwanted or a harmful data that is not trusted to the that is not the one which is not trusted one. It will try to drop off, and useful data only it is passing through the network. So that's how the firewall will try to work. And a network can perform without compromising the performance. And hardware firewall it needs a expert setup, because it that configuration need to be carried out in the hardware in an appropriate manner, so that the protection can be made it very proper. And hardware firewall, it uses a packet filtering. That is you have to packet filtering for analyzing the headers of a packet and the identity of from where it is coming from, that is the source and destination. And this data is compared with the predefined or the user created rules. Thereby only the packet will be forwarded. Certain site you can able to restrict, so that that site, if it is coming in the form of IP or in the form of a domain name, it will be blocked. Software firewall, it is installed on a single computer on a network, and it allows the data to flow to one program, and it will try to block others. So that means certain data will be allowed to pass and other will be blocked. So software firewall is like it filters the incoming and outgoing packet or data informations from the external network. As software firewall, it protects the computers from the outside attempt to control and access the computers, so that if any file is there, it should not be able to and get accessed, or it should not get leaked off. So that's why the software firewall try to prevent and it provide a protection against such like a Trojan programs or email worms. So these are nothing that tampers the files, and it tries to even attacks the folder, or it even shut down the systems. So the major disadvantage of software firewall is that it requires installations, updating, and administration at each level, so that the computer can work properly. However, software and hardware can work together, so that it provides a strong protection for the systems. However, both are different to each other in terms of their configurations, and it is essential that firewall need to be updated based on the operating systems, and other software need to be protected from the intruders or from the external interference of the network. Thereby the systems can be protected. So this is how the firewall it tries to performs. Now if you look across the type of the firewalls, there are different types. Is the main objective of the firewall is to block the malicious network request and the data packet. So that is the request of the network from the malicious nodes, and the data packet movement, those things that flows in a legitimate way or a legitimate traffic, those things to be protected and blocked. That is what does the firewall performs. So there are different type of firewalls. One is a packet filtering firewalls. In the packet filtering firewall, first the firewall is created for the network security, and thereby it does the filtering of the data packet which is coming into the network, and based on the certain rule set, it will allow the packet filtering like a IP address or a packet type or a port numbers, etc. Those things are if it does not matches based on the rule setup, it is ignored. The second is the circuit level firewall. It is basically operated at the session level monitoring under the TCP handshake mode. TCP handshake mode is nothing but a dialogues instead of a data packet level. So based on the session level monitoring and the TCP handshake, and the session level monitoring means it will check that which session is number is existing for which handshaking condition, or if a data is sent, if a data is corrupted, for which session it was corrupted, everything is being verified. It ensures the external sessions of the network encounters are legitimate or not. Network segmentation firewall. So this network firewalls, it accomplishes both the data packet filterings of the sessions and the session filterings also. The packet filtering and the circuit filtering are very important for the firewall, and it monitors all the active sessions or connections that is taking place for the network packet, whether it to be allowed or not, that is decides. So that is how the network segmentations firewall operates. Another is a web application firewall. So in this case, the firewall operates in the applications layers, or in other words, the traffic only with regard to the application layer, it is being protected under these firewalls. So as we can see, the above packet level is a different, circuit level is a different, network segmentation is a different. Here the web applications, it will monitoring the traffic all of the web applications on the network. Next is a cloud-based firewall. In the cloud-based firewall, it tries to analyze the data that is coming from the firewall, whether it is a protector in the network or in the application or in the database. All these sections in the cloud level, it will try to verify. So when you say cloud, it's a collection of a network. So it has to see from where it is originating, where it is coming. So it will see the all aspects of the packet movement. The next generation firewall, when we talk about the next, this firewall is used to protect the network from the undesired data. But it is distinct from the conventional firewalls. In addition to port, origin, destinations, IP address, and protocol, this type of is a software visible type of a firewall, where it will try to see, say for example, if you are allowing a Skype to be used for a voice through IP, and then it not for sharing the files. So voice over IP is that is one thing you will be using for the communications or for the chatting purpose or for the discussion purpose, but in that one you will not use for the file sharing by using application layer firewalls. So if you are using application layer firewall for the purpose, then there you will not go for a file sharing. So every file has its own, every firewall has its own activity. So it will be verified at each level, and thereby it will have a very concrete protections. So firewall is a most popular type of protections of the network, and because of the modern malware and because of the complexity of the natures, so more sophisticated firewall is needed for the efficient networking. And firewall is the least well delineated firewalls that will be that in combination with the stateful inspection and deep packet inspections can able to meet the needs. So that's how the firewall performs. Now next we go to the DMZ, sorry, this is not NZ, DMZ network. So DMZ network, what exactly means? See, in the DMZ actually it stands for demilitarized zone. Demilitarized zone, that is what you can see. Demilitarized zone is nothing but a DMZ network. So in the DMZ networking, the function of a subnet containing the untrusted network, or it is coming from untrusted networks, commonly internet, the DMZ try to identify such type of the packet movement or such type of source from where it is originating, and it will try to block. So the goal of a DMZ is to add an extra layer of the securities. So that is how the DMZ try to it will provide, apart from the firewall, it provide extra layer of securities for the LAN when it is get connected to the internet. And such type of extra protection is for detecting and also for mitigating the security breach. So the DMZ is sometimes also called known as a perimeter network or a screened subnetwork. So that is what we try to term this one. So this is how the DMZ will work. And also in the case of a DMZ, the architecture, if you try to look across the architecture, you can see that in this architecture, this is enterprise LAN networking, this is the internet. From the internet, the packet which is coming, it is passed through a first firewall, and it is then routed through a DMZ network. This is the independent network, and there after that next firewall it is being passed, and thereby it reaches to the enterprise. So this is a one special this is a special type of network, because DMZ is a separate design network for more protections. So because of the two firewall, the modern DMZ is represented or appears like this. So this approach expands on to create a complex architectures. If it is a single firewall with then you need a internet and you can have a router, and thereby you can pass on to the enterprise. But external network is connected to the public network through the first firewall network. That is one is the, and that first firewall network is then connected to the next network through the second firewall network. So this is how the DMZ network is being configured. So any service provided by the users on the public internet service is always placed through a DMZ, and this is the ultimate goal of the DMZ is to allow the resources from the untrusted network while keeping the private network secure. So if this is a private network, and this is enterprise network, and I assume that there is a private network. Private network want to configure interact with the enterprise network, and they are using internet. But there also it will try to maintain how it can it can keep the untrusted network and the enterprise network while keeping the private network also secure. So most of the common type of this service in this one, it includes the web service, proxy service. So that's why you can see web service, mail service as are the part of this DNS and a file transfer protocol, and including a voice over IP. So that is how the DNS network try to take into account and try to make the system protected, and it make the system more viable with the type of attacks. What are the benefits that you try to see in the case of a DMZ? This is not a DMZ. So the benefits that you try to see in the case of DMZ is that utilizing a DMZ should be fairly obvious. So it is true that it gives a double protection, and it tries to see that how the unsecure media can be protected from the secure network using a additional networking of networking configurations. By isolating your public server from the rest of the LANs, it increases the security. Drawback is that complete security is to make usability's non-existence. That is one, and another more secure sometimes is more difficult with DMZ. That means there are two things is that achieve complete security is to make usability non-existence. That means because of this you can provide these securities, but the network will not able to operate in an efficient manner. That is one. Second thing is that the more secure sometimes is more difficult to DMZ. However, the security is intact, it is intact, but because of the higher security, sometimes it is not the efficiency of the data utilizations will be not there much, and thereby you cannot able to reduce the level of the securities, and also you cannot able to make the security more complex also. However, whatever the ground truth on the drawback is there, still then DMZ always has a goal for adding extra layer of security to an organizations, so that it can be get prevented and isolated from the security breach affected due to the internet or the external network. So this how we come to the point of our discussions on the firewall. Thank you.